My main task is to foresee the future. I analyze a lot of information and think at least 2-3 years ahead, and I think I'm doing it really well. My main principles at work are flexibility, being able to adjust to a situation, responsibility, taking a task and completing it, and self-development. Never stop to educate yourself.
Tatьяna, it is a wonderful recognition of the work that she does, the high esteem within which she is held, and the respect. Mining is obviously being traditionally viewed as very much an exclusive or almost exclusively male reserve. Clearly, in the 21st century, that is not sustainable. There's no ways that we can run our businesses and exclude 50% of the population from which we can draw top quality employees.
This is UK Corporate Governance Code. We call it our Bible. It contains 5 main principles and 41 explaining provisions, and this is all you need to navigate through corporate governance.
Globally, the focus on the business is shifting from the bottom line on, how much money has a company made, or how, what is the market share gains and all of those things. It's now the focus is shifting on how that has been achieved. And I think corporate governance is the key element in answering this question, how.
If you don't have a really strong reputation for corporate governance, then you really don't have a business. It's an absolute fundamental starting point. Investors won't invest in you. If we didn't have strong corporate governance, we wouldn't be able to list on the London market. It's absolutely a fundamental requirement to be able to be in business.
So kids, who knows what mommy does for work?
I.
What?
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, okay. It's always very difficult to explain what corporate governance directors do because job is invisible unless something goes really wrong. So for myself, I decided that if I can explain it to my children, I can explain to anyone who asks. That was not a very good company. Imagine this tower is a company that you are building. Corporate governance is about building structures. So like building a tower block, you have several stones and they involve good corporate culture, it involves safety, good management, leadership, succession planning. So there are many, many blocks in the tower. And it takes a lot of effort actually to keep it stable. And if there is some kind of big event in the market, the whole structure will collapse very, very quickly. My role in the company is to make sure that it is built properly, and after it's built, it's not collapsing. So I'm watching really closely what everyone is doing, what the board of directors is doing, what the management is doing. And if you build your company in a bit of odd way, it's going to collapse very, very quickly. So good governance is about making sure you don't collapse that tower.
A lot of people may say, but it's very sort of boring, it's all administrative work and what have you. It's absolutely fundamentally important because without the company secretary making sure that everything that should be done is done, all the directors on the board and possibly even management run the risk of landing up in jail. Now, clearly, I don't want to land up in jail. So we absolutely rely on Tatьяна making sure that we are doing things that are expected of us.
Oh, it's absolutely essential nowadays. One thing about the company is that good governance isn't an option for this company, it's an obligation. And investors expect good governance. Otherwise, there is no reason to invest in bad companies. From a global peer group analysis, I would say that Polimetalla is towards the upper end of its global peers when you compare them to the efforts that they've all made. The company is incredibly highly regarded amongst peers. You can see that through the external recognition from Sustainalytics, Dow Jones, etc.
Polimetalla has been recently recognized in the UK for best communications of ESG, and this is an outstanding result for a gold mining company, especially for a Russian mining company. Not only corporate governance works for a corporate brand, but it also supports the share price because investors are ready to pay premium for good governance.
It's quite hard for me to acknowledge that something is not possible. I tend to go until the end, and doing weights in the gym it helps me to relax. It helps me to stop processing the amounts of information I normally process and concentrate just on the weights. In deadlifts, I can do 50 kilograms, which is somewhat challenging, but I know that I can do more, but this is what I can do at the moment. Going to the gym is not about records, it's about resilience and being able to know what you are capable of and to ensure that you can push yourself to the limit, but also to be sure that you do it safely and you don't injure yourself. When I stop, I feel that I overcame so many challenges and I did what I should be doing. So this is Michael. He's 10 years old this year, and he was born in September when Polimetalla was getting admission to trade into the London Stock Exchange, and he's a big part of Polimetalla's admission story because I took him to the completion meeting in November. He was only 1.5 months old, so I came with a pushchair. I signed all the paperwork that he's not going to fall down any stairs, and I just went into the room full of bankers and lawyers and companies directors, and we spent there hours and hours because completion is a long and detailed process. And Michael slept through part of the meetings. He didn't sleep for another part of the meetings. But everyone took really good care of Michael, and I'm sure people were surprised, but we felt really, really welcome there. Building career around the family, I will be lying if I say it's easy. It is challenging, but I didn't take any maternity leave, and this was my choice because I felt that was appropriate for me and for my company. And some companies plant trees to commemorate big events. Polimetalla has Michael, who is our mascot because he is the same age as Polimetalla's admission to trading.
I am very surprised to be the mascot of this company. I've never heard this story and it's very interesting.
Since childhood, I have been fascinated with marine stories, and my favorite authors were the likes of Jules Verne. Since then, my passion became sailing, and I think working on a boat as a team is very important when you're in charge of a ship, and you need to make sure that your team listens to you. And this is very similar to working as a team in a company when you find a goal and then use all your efforts to achieve the goal. So motto of any company can be to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.